Hey everybody, it's Chris and Ranger. We're here today to show you the studio. Ranger doesn't want to look up right now, so let's see if we can get him in camera's view. Hi, Range. So Ranger loves to be in the studio with me. We also have another dog named Riley, and but he's not out here right now. So let me first start by saying that I am incredibly fortunate to have such a wonderful studio and space to work in. You'll notice that my voice is kind of echoing. It's because I have super tall ceilings, and I also have fluorescent lights all the way across, which is fantastic to give me a lot of light when I'm working. Not the best lighting for filming because it tends to reflect when I am filming for you guys. So this studio is about 3 years old now, and I just got done cleaning it because it was really gross and disgusting. But I thought I've always wanted to give you guys a tour, but it's never been clean enough for what I presume is clean. And I'm kind of picky. So I'm gonna start over here and show you guys a few things. This is my cabinetry, and then we actually used butcher block for the countertop. And so this countertop is butcher block, and then I used 2 different colors of stain on it. And then I also added glitter to my epoxy. It was counterculture epoxy with some glitter in it. And I absolutely love how it turned out. As you guys probably know if you've been watching me a while, I love pink. And so it's kind of a pink and gray theme out here. And I've got some storage totes under there, which is not my favorite thing to do, but as I said, I was trying to clean and make it pretty in here. And then some of you may notice that painting right there. And that is a painting that was one of my first ones that I did on YouTube, and it has now had 1.6 million views on it, which is pretty insane. I also love Paris and things that are French. So I have some things up on top that are kind of Paris themed, along with some initials. And then I'm just gonna come back down here. This is usually where I do my filming. I have the ring light there so that if the lighting is not so great with just natural light coming in the window, then I can turn the ring light on, and usually I can get it so it does not reflect. You'll see that I have some piggies. I have a lot of piggies. So all of that is for the Shelley art style. On the top are the piggies, and then kind of on the bottom are some of my paints that are mixed in with the base so that I can have paint and pigments when I do my blooms. I have some new colors there on the table that when I'm finished showing you guys everything, I'm going to mix those up, and I'll show you a little bit closer look on how I have those organized. And I think Riley is here, so let's see if he wants to come in. And this is our backyard. Hi, Riley. Riley's a golden doodle. Can you say hi, Riley? Riley is, hello. Riley is a year, shh, quiet. About a year and 2 months. No, Ranger is 2 years. Riley likes to talk. So anyway, that's Riley. They get along really well. We were hoping that he would be the same size as Ranger, but unfortunately, Riley was a little bit bigger than what the breeder thought he was going to be. He originally was the runt of the litter, and he's probably about 55 pounds now and slightly taller than Ranger. We were kind of hoping he'd be about the same size as Ranger, but he is not. Okay, so over here on the door that goes into the garage are all of my glitters. These are spice racks that are metal, and then I used some pretty heavy duty magnets on the backs of them so that they would stick, if you will. So I was really lucky that it's a metal door going into the garage because that gave me a little bit more space to organize. I do have some blank wall space, not a lot, but it's nice to be able to organize all the glitter so I can see exactly what I have. This is more for the acrylics, and then I sometimes will do tumblers. So I've kind of gotten excited about acrylics to make badge reels and keychains and things like that. So that's why I have so much glitter. Plus it's pretty. Up above the door to the garage is this fantastic shelf that Jim built for me. And this is what holds all of my extra canvases. And sometimes I'll put paintings up there that are done as well. And then next to that, I have a rolling rack that on the bottom has smaller canvases, as well as some of the cradled wood panels that I have ready to go. They're all taped off on the sides. You can see I have paints and the colored baskets there on the third shelf up are all of my mixed paints for acrylic pour painting. And then up above are a lot of my Lazy Susans. Some are ready to paint, some are already painted. And then over here on the side are all of my tube paints. Well, not all of them, but a majority of my tube paints. And I laugh when people ask me when I invite them over to paint, if they need to bring any paint. And I'm like, no, I think we're good. I also have my respirators for my resin on there too. So this is probably the majority of my tube paint. As you can see, it's all pretty full. So there are a few other things over here on the shelves as far as tube paints. These are kind of specialty ones that I have, and spaces kind of like the metallic ones I keep over here in this basket. And then I also have some bigger containers of paint up there. Extra tubes of paint in a tote. Those are all of the Deco Art bottles. And then in these totes, I have all of my paints organized kind of by color. So blues and purples are all in this one, but that's what I keep all of my pour paints in, just to keep those organized. And I always have paint mixed up and ready to go most of the time, because I just mix up my paint, and it's been in there probably for, gosh, some of it's probably been in there a year, and it's still good paint. And then I have a big Paris picture and my rolling shelf. You can see there's a couple of tumblers there that I've done. This is kind of just extra storage. So down on the bottom there in the basket, I have some of my Lazy Susan pieces, like the hardware and things like that. In the drawers, I have other stuff. And then over here, I'll show you the piggies a little bit closer. So these are little containers that I bought at the Dollar Tree, the little square ones, and they really work fantastic for the piggies. So I have the jar of pigment underneath, and then I've labeled them each with the color that they are. And they clean up nicely. The labels, I use a Brother label maker, so it's kind of got a waterproof coating on it, so I can actually like wipe some of the paint off. And then I have some of my flow art, or my flow acrylics down here, as well as some Liquitex ink. Right here I have some paintings that are older that I thought I might put on my Facebook page and price them down and get rid of them. I also like to have some pretty stuff out here. So this is a skyline of Chicago that I bought when we were there. My brother lives there. This is my heating and cooling unit for the studio. And then I also have a rolling table that I use for, usually that's where I will paint or do a lot of my resin stuff, and then just let it sit there. I cover it in plastic. I have a tumbler turner there. I've been kind of messing around with some pens. And then over here I've got some extra shelving with coasters, tiles on it, my pouring medium stuff, my resin stuff, and Lazy Susans. I'm getting ready to start with I have a show in a month, so I need to get busy and start working on those items. My TV, I have an Apple phone, and I have an Apple TV up there, a little bit old school. We don't have all the fancy apps on this TV. This was an older TV that Jim had at his place, and I was like, ooh, I'll take it out in my studio. So a lot of times when I'm filming, I have my screen up on the TV so I can see exactly what you guys are looking at. So it works really nicely. This is my little coffee station. I have some cute little cups. I love mugs, and I like to buy those when we go traveling. So they're kind of from all over the place. A live edge shelf, as you can see, and then a little chandelier. I also stenciled this wall, but as you can see, my tastes are very I would say they're very eclectic. So I like modern, I like traditional, I like rustic, I like all of it. I also like to use things that I already own. So I had that IKEA rod in my old craft room, and I was like, wow, that would be a really cool mug rack. As you can see, I need to add another one because I have some extra ones. My bestie Susan gave me the Mr. and Mrs. mugs when we got married a couple years ago. So, and this, I need to find a little, I actually meant to have this up. I think it probably needs an easel, but my friend Charlie made this for me. She lives in England, and I met her through my website or through my YouTube channel. It's actually a roof tile that they use in that country, and she signed the back of it. So I think it's really cool. And I actually meant to put that up there before I started to film, and then I forgot. I needed to wipe that countertop off and totally forgot after I got all the dust off of it. I also have a bathroom, as you can see. My water heater is right there in plain view, but that's okay. This would probably be part of the industrial part that I was talking about. So I poured the top, and it is a puddle pour. And then I put resin on it. My sink is so much cleaner than it was before I started to film. We also put a little shower in, which Jim thought I was crazy at the time. I had originally told him that I at least wanted running water out here. And he was like, well, if we do running water, we should do a toilet. And I was like, oh, you know what? We should just plumb it for a shower, and we could add that later. And he goes, do you plan on getting that messy that you need a shower? And I was like, well, no, but if we're going to do that, why not make it so that it's usable space? So as I said, this is, I'm very fortunate to have this big of a space. Here it is looking back towards the window. Most of my pouring I do right there at that table. I have an area rug down just to kind of help protect my floors. My floors are epoxy resin. We did those when we first built the building. My studio is actually at the back of a building that we put in. The front part is garage, and then I have my studio back here. I love my view, and we have a bike trail out back. We just added a vinyl fence, which I love. Forgive the brown grass because it's been super dry here, but if I'm not painting and making videos for you guys, I'm usually outside working on the gardens. I love to garden, and I also have a camper that we're working on to redo that and make it prettier. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour. Hopefully I didn't move around too much to make you motion sick, but as I said, I really wanted to show you guys what my studio looks like, just so you can see like how I do things, and maybe my organization will give you an idea of something that you could do in your space. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks so much for joining me on this tour, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.